Design thinking is actually very similar to the scientific method. So it's an iterative approach that tries to take you from a preliminary seed of an idea, an inspiration, to an actual implementation of something new. We're all familiar with the scientific method where, you gather information, you come up with a hypothesis, you test that hypothesis, it yields new information, you refine your hypothesis, you might do another series of tests, and onward until you find some results. Design thinking is very similar. So in the inspiration phase is where you gather information. And often this is seen as extraneous. It's a lot of work, it's a time sink, get out into the community, but actually this is the most critical. Going out and getting as much insight as you possibly can about the client that you're trying to serve and what their needs are, the way that they see the world, and the environment that you're operating in. The next step is called ideation, and this is where in the scientific method it would be sort of creating your hypothesis. So you're taking all of this information and data that you've gathered in the world and you're starting to sort it and organize it. And in the scientific method you would be forming a hypothesis. In design thinking it's where you start to begin to identify opportunity. You have a few aha moments where you think, oh, I never noticed. There might be a connection between this thing and this thing. Or, wow, it had totally escaped us that this client or customer has this particular need, or the world has changed and now the next generation sees themselves differently. So in the ideation phase is when you start to look through all of this information you've gathered, organize it, and begin to form ideas about where opportunities might lie. From there, the third step is iteration, which is all about experimentation and prototyping. Ideally, you want to experiment and prototype with more than one of the opportunities that you might have identified in the ideation stage. So maybe you do 2 prototypes and then you can compare which one is giving you the best results, which one is the most cost effective, which one might be the most scalable, which one gives you the best support. And from those pilots, very small pilots, you then get more information that can help you go back and refine your understanding of the opportunity. And you would do that, maybe 2 or 3 times before the final step, which is implementation, which is when you want to really support a new program or new service or new business model with full board approval, mobilizing funding, formalizing it into your strategic plan or your communications materials. That's after you've done a few pilots and tested and refined.